Okay, a moment, guys. We're trying to get our stuff uh, set up here for this live stream of Midnight Creeps. But welcome back. As you can see, we're in the Halloween mood already, counting down with Midnight Creeps. We've added some decorations. Okay, the mic is a bit visible now. Yeah, perfect. Let's see. Hi, guys. Welcome back to a new episode of Midnight Creeps. I'm happy to be back with a new story for you guys, and I just enjoy counting down these creepy Halloween stories. In case you missed last week's story, it was about Anna and the two children that she had to face. She still had a lot of questions in her mind, like who was the tall guy who helped her? And he had said that the ghost that she had to face was in the end more powerful than the spirit of the two children. She could barely escape those, so how would she survive facing such a powerful enemy? Anyway, oh, I hope that of my glasses isn't boarding. Now I see that the lights is reflecting. I'll take those off. Back to the story of Anna, guys. On this week's episode of Midnight Creeps, don't forget to miss next week's episode. And don't forget to support me by visiting my blog and subscribing on my channel, where I'll also be posting exclusive content for you guys to enjoy. Hi, I'm ShachemLieuw. I'm a writer, content creator, and blogger from Suriname. That's a small country in South America. Anyway, we're getting back to the story of Midnight Creeps. Yes, Anne had so many questions left in her mind, but now she had to make her way on her journey. She was puzzled and a bit confused, and she felt like her energy was drained from the experience that she had with the ghost. She moved on and she followed the path. And then she arrived at the pumpkin patch. And it was very strange because she didn't remember that being there before. And she's been here multiple times. No child has explored this part of the village as much as she had. But despite that, she knew she had to move on through the pumpkin patch. She stared at the pumpkin, and a crow landed on it. The crow was acting kind of sketchy. Speaking of sketchy crows, I've launched my new book that you can buy right now. It's called Trouble in Halloween Town. Make sure to check that out as well. You'll find it on my blog, on my website, but I'll also add a link in this description box after this live stream is finished so that you can easily access and purchase my book. This is Halloween Town. Ooh, scary vibes, I know. Anyway, she passed through the pumpkin patch. When she went through the pumpkin patch, she saw two scarecrows standing left and right. They stared at her, and she didn't know if it was in her mind, but it was as if they were following her. When she turned around, it was all quiet. What Anna didn't know is that the pumpkin hats were indeed alive and staring at her, but they just didn't want to make their presence known yet. She was about to exit the pumpkin patch when a large pumpkin vine gripped her feet and dragged her all across the other side of the pumpkin patch. And she ended up staring at a scary looking scarecrow that was positioned right above her. And this is just a scarecrow, she thought to herself. But then its eyes beamed red and it looked down at her and she was shocked to see that the scarecrow was alive. He moved his strong hand to grab Anna, but she was quick to get up and run away. And just as she escaped, or she tried to escape, another pumpkin find came, grabbed her by the hand and the leg, and dragged her up back to the scarecrows that had now gathered. There were at least like 6 of them collected in one patch. Why are you in such a hurry to leave, Anna? We've been waiting for you. You've been waiting for me? Yes, we knew that you would come. And then she asked them, why were you waiting for me? Because our freedom lies upon your success. If you manage to beat this powerful evil spirit, our souls will be free. Who are you? We're the lives that he has taken. Our bones digested on this very fertile ground and was consumed by pumpkins. And the spirit of the pumpkin melted with our spirit to come alive in the form of these scarecrow pumpkins, and we live in these patches. Anna wasn't so scared of the pumpkin scarecrows anymore. Now she just understood their story. They were just lost and trapped creatures, victim of the monster, just like her village was. It turned out that there was a lot more riding on this adventure than she had in mind. She knew she had to play it big, but the pressure was starting to weigh down on her. Worry not, warrior, we have a gift to give to you. Take this. They handed Anda a pile of dirt in a bag. You think it was any ordinary dirt, but plot twist, it isn't. Take this on your adventure and it will help you. This dirt is fertile. It can be a weapon. It can be something to relieve you or something to save you in your darkest moment. It all depends on what you make of it. And I didn't like the riddles that the pumpkin scarecrow guy was talking in, but she was in a hurry. She accepted the gift and she took it along with it. She figured that whatever it meant, she would find out on her journey anyway. She was tired now. She had walked all day and her feet began hurting her. She began to get blisters and scars. She needed a break. That's when she saw a town nearby. Strange. There was never a town here before. Now she started to doubt if she was even going the right way. Because at first it was a pumpkin patch. And now this town had appeared out of nowhere. Am I still stuck in that dream? Anna thought to myself. Was I captured by the spirit of those two kids? And am I now trapped in dream world? Anna tried to relax herself and not feed any of her paranoia. She knew that she needed to have a drink and maybe a good warm meal. That way she would certainly know if she was in dream world or not. Because if there's one thing you can't replicate or fake, is the taste of good food. She smelled the scent of pastries and sweet desserts being baked in the bakery of the village. She followed the smell, and it led her to a small bakery. Through the window, she saw a handsome young man rolling bread dough. The smoke of baked bread was coming out of the chimney. Their oven was working overtime to feed this small town. Anna stared at the man from a distance, but he didn't know that she was there yet. He seemed so interesting and different. He didn't wear the same clothes that the people in her village wore, and he was very, very big built. He was more on the chubby side, she thought, and he did have the normal orange looking color, but there was something extra pink about his hue of orange. It was almost as if he was a peach that got sunburned. Anna sneaked up to get a closer look of the baker. Maybe if he was a nice man, he would surely let her try some of his nice pastries. But when he came closer and she sneaked under the table that was in front of his shop, she got a look at him and she was shocked to see and to find out that he had the face of a pig. He wasn't a human at all. Anna was shocked, crawled away and ran away, and she began observing this town. That's when she noticed there was something strange indeed about this small town. All the people that lived in it, it turned out they had big faces. And not only did they had big faces, and she looked into a diner or a restaurant's window. She saw a big family chewing on human bones. This was a big village that ate human beings. Somehow a portal from another world had opened and transformed these vicious animals into this world, and they feasted on humans as if we were a delicacy. Their big teeth ripped through our meat and cleared the skin from our bones within seconds to satisfy their hunger. Oh, what a tragedy it was for Anna to witness this. She hoped that nobody would encounter them and that they would only stay in this town and not go outside to find her village and her people, because they would certainly try to eat them. She would wonder if they would like their indigenous flavors. Anyway, Anna tried to hide in the pig town, but some of the pigs scented her human scent and wanted to hunt her down, but they couldn't quite pin her. All the time that she kept from herself, she became an expert at practicing how to hide and how to remain invisible. She didn't want to be a bother or a burden to anyone in the village, so she always learned how to survive on her own and to not depend on anyone. The best way for her to achieve this goal was by staying invisible. And invisible she stayed, a skill that came in handy to save her life today. She needed to find her way out. The moon, the full moon, came over the town, and Anna thought of seeking a direction. She wanted to exit the gates of the town, but exiting was a lot harder than entering it. There were pork men guarding the gates, and these men made it impossible for her to escape. She didn't want to get caught and risk becoming a late night dinner. That would be a nightmare or horror. She was hopeless. She didn't know what to do. And then it came to her, what if she would somehow ask the tall man for help? What if he could help her escape? And if she'd meet him again, she could find answers. But how would she meet him? Well, the only obvious answer would be she met him in dream world. So if she went back in dream world, then she could meet him. But then she'd have to find a safe place to sleep so she could escape this horror town with human eating pig faced people. Hmm. Finding a safe place to sleep was a lot easier said than done. But then Anna came with a brilliant idea. She found the graveyard in the town of the pig people. This is where they buried the remains of all the other pig people that died. She knew that nobody would dare to come at such a place during the late nights, especially under such a bright lit full moon. Even if a big person would approach, you would see them from up far. Since they had to climb, I mean, she would see them from afar, since they had to climb up the hill to get at the graveyard. The plan was genius. She found a tomb that belonged to the late Pigstein. What kind of name was it? Pigstein, but he had a fancy tomb. So she entered it and she fell asleep right there, trying to gain her way to Dreamtown and find the tall figure again that saved her life, in the hope that he would have the answers to bring her back to the world that she belonged to. Because wherever she was, she knew this wasn't where she was supposed to be. Ever since she saw that ghost, life has been different for her. It became one crazy wild adventure after another. And she knew that if she closed her eyes now, maybe other things would be waiting for her in dreamland. But she had to try. The days were slowly passing by, and she didn't have a lot of time left. But she knew that she had to at least try. If you guys want to know what happened next, be sure to visit and subscribe to my Storytime blog and tune into next week's episode of Midnight Creeps. I had a lot of fun creating these for you guys. And I hope you guys like the little details that we added. We'll be adding more in the future, hopefully. We're counting down Halloween right here on Storytime, the Storytime way. So I can't wait to see you guys again. If you're looking for more Halloween stories, you can find those under the entertainment section on my blog, or you can just purchase my book, Trouble in Halloween Town. It's an interesting read. Bye bye. Love you guys. Warm greetings from Tropical City.